New York got the formula. UK got the formula.
Podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
You seen what he did on Facebook, right?
I read New York.
Listen, I'm gonna make a motherfucking emoji like this. Look.
Melody Beyonce production.
I read New York.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
All the guys want. I want what Mayweather got. I want what Mayweather got. We done bust shit. That's like Mayweather.
It was born to fight. My life has always been a fight.
I sacrificed a lot to get to where I got to.
You don't think you're being overly critical to a guy that took a body shot and didn't go down?
There's no pressure. That's just my style. My style is to dominate. I want to get the guy. I want to stop the guy. You know, my motto is man down.
Why you mad, huh? Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Boxing Voice Radio. I'm your host, Nestor Gibbs. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at NestGTO. We're back. Another spontaneous one. We're here to discuss some more Lennox Lewis. I mean, Lennox continues to have an opinion on this Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder matter. And, I really wish that my co-host Ron G was on the panel as he's the historian. And maybe he could fill us in on Lennox failed negotiations with Riddick Bowe, because I feel like he's coming down a little hard on Joshua. And yeah, he didn't fight Riddick Bowe, right? Like, I know that there was rumors that the offers were not right for Bowe. But that's neither here nor there. What we are here to discuss is Ness being right again, patting myself on the back again. I said that, KSI and Logan Paul was going to influence boxing. We discussed it yesterday on the show, and we debated with trolls that said we were losing credibility for discussing it. And here we have a legend, first ballot Hall of Famer, or is he already in the Hall of Fame? He's in the Hall of Fame. We have a Hall of Famer, career heavyweight, with a damn good resume, so he can talk. It's not like we could call him a bum. This guy's a true champ. And like I said, he's always had an opinion on this fight, but this time he's saying that Wilder and Joshua need to take notes from Logan Paul and KSI, specifically the contract, the 2-fight deal, the immediate rematch, one which the public knows all the details about. Even Steven, fair deal. These YouTubers have made tens of millions of dollars. And they're not Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. And they were able to put together a big-time contract. And that's what Lennox Lewis is discussing. We'll give you his specific quotes as we get into this show. This is what we're going to be discussing. If you want to, partake in this show, the number to call in is 1-425-569-5241. We got a couple of panelists. Obviously, Daniel's still traveling and here visiting from Las Vegas, putting in that work. We will be at the camp of Danny Garcia today. So if you want to ask any questions to Danny and Angel, look in the chat as I will be putting the link to our Patreon only post, because only our patrons get to ask questions to the champions. But let me get on out to our many hosts and get this thing started.
So your brother's bound and gagged, and they've chained him to a chair. Won't you please come to Chicago?
What's going on, guys? Great to be back once again. Lennox Lewis saying what we've been saying already for the last couple of days, and a lot of the trolls in the comments dogging us for it, but not understanding the bigger picture. Well, I guess Lennox gets the bigger picture, so we'll get on that. And make sure to go get your Patreon questions for Danny and Angel. Their fight's about a week and a half now? Week and a half away. So go get those questions in, and let's get it going.
I speak it Believe it, receive it. Speak it, believe it, receive it. Speak it, believe it, receive it. I can't say it enough. I speak it, believe it.
Windows down, 2 attempts, handed bands over. Sicko hit, shot and miss, 2 to stand over. Turn up. Breadwinner, huh? Look who in the building. Let me check my Instagram. I might be at 1 million. And I'm in.
BoxingVoice.com.
Yo, what's going on, TBV family? We're back with another one. Lennox Lewis. I'm so happy that a legendary, high-profile former boxer came out and spoke good about the match that was going on Saturday. And he pointed out a good point that these guys can learn from what KSI and Logan Paul did. This is the biggest boxing purse-wise all year, and these guys are not even real boxers. So if boxers can take a little page out of their book, it can be very, very, very beneficial for them in the long run.
Yeah, you know, Mike, I'm going to piggyback off that because I hear Danny over here talking under his breath like, I don't know about all that. But last time I checked, I don't know anyone who received 75 mil. And remember, those numbers are wrong because the quote was in pounds, not dollars. So they each got way over 75 mil. It was like roughly estimated $196,000 between two people, 50-50 split.
Well, based off pay-per-view numbers and the gate, I mean, nothing's truly been confirmed. Like, pay-per-view numbers haven't came out, so we won't know the final figure for about a week.
But they're not calculating just pay-per-views. Like, Mayweather doesn't just count pay-per-views. They count concessions, ticket sales, pay-per-views, and sponsorships. There were some sponsors out there.
And he also, you got to take it to fact that they put the playback out the next day for free. So I'm pretty sure that playback was filled with sponsors.
You'll get YouTube ads on that.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. YouTube ads on it. So I'm pretty sure that they made a boatload of cash doing that too.
Listen, the boys made money. Whenever you got a legend taking notice, they made money. Let's get out to our other co-hosts in the Bay Area, Ron G, because we do want to ask you some specifics about, you know, Lennox and his fallout negotiations with Riddick Bowe, just to put him into comparison since he's always being so critical of Joshua.
BoxingVoice.com.
I've been doing this. I ain't been up and fell off. I've been through the Lennox Lewis era, the Nassim Hamed era, the Sugar Shane Moses era, the Oscar De La Hoya era. I've been through all the eras, and I still been
How much you talk? You do too much talk. The thing is this.
People want their subjective preference to be the objective reality.
Hey, you don't need to fire you. You don't know shit about BoxingVoice.com.
Yeah, so Lennox Lewis, you're asking some questions about Lennox Lewis and the Riddick Bowe that never happened when Riddick Bowe dropped the belt in a trash can.
Yes.
Do you need a verbal yes?
Sorry, the screen was frozen. So from what I remember, I need to just get a quick refresher, but I do remember that Riddick Bowe had the belt and Lennox Lewis was in an attempt to try to get it, and their negotiations didn't go out.
I'm pretty sure it was a unification, not just a belt.
Yeah, the WBC.
I think both of them had belts, and Riddick threw his in the trash.
And I can remember of interview when Holyfield called Bowe out on that. It's like, you didn't even want to fight Lennox Lewis. You ducked and threw your belt in the trash can.
That's what I thought. It was Lennox Lewis who wanted to take the fight, and he happily just took the belt and continued fighting.
You guys got to do your research. The reason he threw the belts away was because, like this guy that walked out the ring, he felt he was being treated unfair. And you know, there's even a second attempt at the negotiations. There's actually a very good documentary video on it on YouTube. I watched it a couple of years ago that takes you through the timeline. And they actually renegotiated a second time, but the shit never actually took place. And that happens, you know. I hope that this doesn't become a Riddick Bowe, you know, Lennox Lewis situation where it can be. It never damaged Bowe, and it never damaged Lewis. Lewis is obviously more liked, adored, and admired than Bowe, but that's also because he was more accomplished, right?
So I have an article pulled up right now. It's not saying too much. I'm still doing research, but basically it was saying that in '92, Riddick Bowe was WBA, WBC, and IBF heavyweight champ. So he vacated the WBC later that year in protest instead of defending against the #1 contender, Lennox Lewis.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought Riddick Bowe just gave up the WBC belt.
You see how he emphasized contender? Like, Ness, you're wrong. Contender, not champion. But hey, look, when you guys are right, you're right. That's why 4 heads are better than 1.
But I don't think that will this right here like is gonna like be similar to AJ and Wilder, because I just don't see Wilder giving up the WBC belt and putting it in the trash can.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be Wilder. Wilder doesn't have to be Bowe in this situation. He could turn into Lewis, and Bowe could turn into Joshua as time goes by.
I don't see Joshua vacating them belts either, though. I mean, he said he wanted to be
sure people in that day didn't see Riddick Bowe doing that either. Bowe was declarated amateur. He came out of that Olympics looking like a blue chip, and these two had a fight in the amateurs. Like, this was always a destined fight. Like, no one would have expected Bowe to do what he did. Like, that's why it's in the history books. Like, but if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Jeez, there's so many watching, so few hitting the thumbs up. It helps with the visibility of the show. It lets us know that you appreciate these morning shows. We're going to be hitting the road for TBV road work. So if you want to get your questions answered by Angel Garcia and Danny Garcia, head on over to patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. Check on the posts for those questions, for those posts specifically to ask questions to those fighters, or you could check in our chat. I did post the link. I think we should get to some of these quotes and see exactly what it was Lennox said. Who's going to do their best version of UK Rob? No one? No one? No one? No
I got you.
I don't have the article up.
No one? No one? No one.
And my kind of to what you were saying, it's also a difference because Bowe was champion, Lennox was a contender. So Joshua and Wilder are each champions. So vacating, really,
yeah, but the public feels like Deontay's not a true champion.
No, I get it, but what I'm getting at is that Bowe vacated.
Who feels like that?
I mean, you hear the haters, bro. Oh, he's fought 40 bums. He ain't fought no one. You know, he fought for a vacant title. Why didn't he want to unify with Vladimir? Like, what do you mean? Who hears that? But I get you. You're educating the casual fans that probably stumbled on this show and didn't know some of the rhetoric that was being tossed around about Deontay Wilder.
And another thing I wanted to get on the Lennox Lewis thing is he was definitely the B side for a lot of fights until he started winning those A-sided fights. Like when he fought Evander Holyfield, he got half of the amount that Evander Holyfield did. He came over to the U.S. He did what he needed to do to become the star and later become a household name, because people in the U.S. at first didn't really know Lennox Lewis until he started beating the Holyfield and the Tyson stuff. And casual people that I know growing up didn't really know much about boxing, but they knew who Lennox Lewis was.
Lennox is one of the best.
I just want to with this little paragraph here by World Boxing News, which I don't know that we need to say are credible. They dropped all the Shelly stuff, Joshua stuff, Eddie stuff a couple of months back. No one had an issue with them then. So they open up by saying, ironically, both earned more than Joshua would have made even if the Briton had accepted the $50 million offer from Wilder, and Lewis couldn't help sending a tongue-in-cheek response. Now, what this is specifically talking about is KSI versus Logan Paul. The only reason that I am again addressing this is because we obviously have participants in the chat that do not agree with the $150 million plus purse. But again, here's another credible website, again, reporting that they both made more than the $50 million offer Wilder offered Joshua. Okay, just further indication that they really made upwards of 75 each, and you guys are really mad. I mean, I get it. I would be too, but I'm not because, you know, I just don't hate. Anyway, so into some quotes. If Logan Paul and KSI can negotiate and finalize a 2-fight deal, I think Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder can take some notes here. Just saying. Before addressing the challenges and facing the pair of champions after they agreed to battle Alexander Povetkin and Tyson Fury. So obviously this is just him discussing, you know, what they should do instead of doing what they've done. They should have gotten a 2-fight deal hammered out, not been facing Povetkin and Tyson Fury. And I further quote, both AJ and Wilder have business at hand to take care of. It will be interesting to see how it pans out. Povetkin is skilled and seasoned. Fury is awkward and tall and mobile. Can't say it's a walk in the park for either. So again, I mean, look, as fight fans, I don't really think many think Wilder's losing, but there are the educated fight fans out there that, you know, understand we didn't think Vlad was going to lose, and he did. So it is a dangerous fight. Then you got to believe that Povetkin, you know, can still knock you out regardless of PD tests, right? Like some of those knockouts he did test positive. We just have to go into this fight assuming that he still possesses that power regardless if he's hot or not.
One thing that I would like to point out for Lennox Lewis, he wasn't being pessimistic when they were talking about the fight. He was actually giving those guys credit for what they done. I've been seeing a lot of people online in the chat, on Twitter, on IG, just really giving these kids a hard time about them not being professional boxers. But these guys created a platform and they maximized their platform to the most they could. So shout out to them.
Man,
yeah, I mean at the same time.
And that's simply all that it is, bro. Like, you can't knock two 25, 23-year-olds that went in there and changed their life for the rest of their lives. Like, 75 mil is 75 mil, kid. That's no bull. We're not
going back to that.
Some of that.
And one thing people need to understand about the boxing voice, when credit is due, credit is given. Just the other day, we were talking about the KSI Logan Paul fight. Ness himself said, shout out to Radio Raheem. He got out there. He put in that work. We're on the road. We're putting in that work. We're giving you people what you guys want to hear. Now, on top of that, Ness, something you talked about a little bit ago, Wilder's going to get hate regardless. Wilder probably got more fan love when he was in Belfast than he does in America, which is truly sad because I mean, he goes out there and he puts on a show, a heavyweight show for the people. We all know that boxing in America is the strongest when we have big heavyweights. Mike Tyson, I mean, boxing in the 90s was incredible because of Tyson. Now, that being said, Wilder, most who know boxing know that Fury may give him issues. However, we all expect Wilder to win by a significant margin. So when you put that in big picture, you got Wilder fighting Luis Ortiz earlier this year. He faced adversity, came back, got the knockout. Somebody who most people don't want to fight, somebody who most people call the boogeyman, right? So you got Luis Ortiz start of the year, Fury second half. Granted, he has to take care of that, but Fury's the one that fought Vlad, beat Vlad. So you put those two victories in 2018, guarantee a lot of the people watching, a lot of the boxing fans are still not going to give Wilder his due credit. So that's another thing we got to realize. There's a lot of haters that don't understand the facts and don't understand boxing.
Yeah, and going back to that whole like internet sensation that just happened last year, a lot of people were commending Conor McGregor when he fought Floyd Mayweather, and that was the same scenario. You thought it was a circus show. You thought it wasn't that going to be this, you know, this fight. It was going to just for the money. And then sure enough, the year after, they just followed the same format. But now we actually see it's working. So that's all we're trying to do is just say, look, at this point, we need to change some lanes in boxing if we want to get these big superstar fights. Because I'm pretty sure these kids are walking away with more money than Conor potentially did just for not being actual fighters.
And to go along that's a great point because they fought not a year, but 364 days after that Conor Floyd mega fight, right? That fight opened a lot of the streaming that was done by KSI and Logan Paul, right? Because if you think about it, UFC had a pay-per-view stream as well. Showtime had a pay-per-view stream, which was the first pay-per-view that Showtime had available for purchase via stream. So the streaming been going on. I think a lot of people don't understand. Conor was getting the same hate. Well, I should say Floyd, really, because, oh, you're fighting an MMA fighter. It's not a real fight, blah, 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 blah. But yet they opened the streaming.
Not only that, but they were in Forbes this year for the two, highest paid athletes last year. They were high. Both of them were high on the list. So people can hate, and that's why Mayweather wore a ski mask to the ring, because he will be, robbing the bank and laughing all the way to the bank. And AJ and Wilder, to Lewis's point, they need to sit down and realize this. And I say Wilder, but you know how I feel. I don't think that. I mean, the man took 15 flat. He understands the magnitude of this situation, and that's why he was willing to take a flat to prove a point and then become the A side. I think AJ and his team need to realize how much money potentially is in this matchup. But I mean, we got Eddie saying that if Wilder can generate 1 million pay-per-views with Fury, that the AJ fight becomes a $200 million fight. And I don't know if he means altogether purse. We would have to further up on that question, because he said if Wilder and AJ do 1 million pay-per-views, people would be looking at us like we were mad if we took that $50 million offer, when in fact they're going to be looking at us like, we know what we're doing, because instead of 50, it's 200 now. So is that overall purse in his eyes? I don't know. And it damn well could be, or it could be one fighters. I mean, Lewis Tyson, right? Was it Lewis Tyson did like 120 million all those years ago? Like, come on. Think about there's so much more money in the world now, even though, they say that we're in a deficit. It's just like, think of how many entrepreneurs the internet has spawned. There's just new money everywhere, in my opinion. I'm new money. You know what I'm saying? Logan Paul and KSI are new money. This didn't exist 10 years ago. So,
and real quick, man, for all these up-and-coming boxers or boxers that's already established, take a page out of Floyd Mayweather's book. Go over and befriend KSI or Logan Paul, like Floyd did with Justin Bieber and 50 Cent. Get some of their followers and build up your Instagram so you can get that kind of turnout too. I mean, the game is easy.
Floyd accepted both men in his gym. While people are telling us we're retarded for reporting on it, Floyd is letting them in the gym to both use the facilities. Badu Jack is sparring with one of them. I mean, you guys need to wake up and smell the TBV coffee.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they actually even signed a contract, or they alleged signed a contract in their gym and filming it. And that's the big thing. I think people don't understand. Like, I think one day someone's going to come down and just buy or try to buy you. And that's because the big thing that they don't realize is that boxing now is profile building. KSI and Logan Paul had their own profile building. They had their fan base. They built their network. Conor McGregor had the UFC building this guy, using documentary stories, making movies, all these things, profile building. They needed a team of people just to follow them 24/7 and just capture whatever silly things they do, good or bad, release it, don't. Every day, consistent, build their profile, and then they're going to be a star. Like, this is a prime example. And Lennox Lewis is just, he gets it, because at that time, they didn't have all these things. So what did he do? He went to the U.S. He tried to fight everyone he can. He put his name into all the big names and was willing to do whatever he could to be from the B side to the A side. He understands. And I feel like now, in this age, he gets it. He just can't fight. And I think that's what he's trying to tell these guys. So look, these are the moves you guys have to make. I see it. Veteran moves.
That's a great point when you talk about profile building, because somebody who's done a great job at profile building is Adrian Broner, and that's exactly why, win or lose, Adrian Broner does $1 million plus anytime he fights on Showtime. It doesn't really matter who the hell it is. It
million plus views, million plus paycheck.
Exactly. And I mean, we're talking the Adrian Granados, like, he's doing that. He's bringing in those numbers and bringing in that money because of his profile. So people need to understand, when we talk about KSI and Logan Paul
and Instagram and Twitter followers,
and that's what I'm getting at. And that's like, these guys got more followers than Anthony Joshua, the heavyweight king, and a lot of the viewers' eyes. You get what I'm saying? So profile building is huge. That's exactly why Adrian Broner brings in the views and brings in the money.
I mean, Matchroom was technically built off a profile build fighter, Frank Bruno. Back then in the UK, they had Frank Bruno, which everyone kind of felt Mike Tyson was the better fighter. And Barry Hearn was able to make a fortune with Frank Bruno, which led to what Matchroom is now. None of this would have been here without Frank Bruno and Barry Hearn and then the Chris Eubanks, because they built these guys' profile. Chris Eubank wasn't really even a guy that many people thought he was actually a fighter until he actually proved himself against Nigel Benn in the past. So Matchroom was really smart back then, profile building these guys, took the fan base then, built these humongous stars, and that's why Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn now have the blueprint, because they have their dad and they have the previous fighters. So if they enter the market with social media, I mean, I've been watching some of these DAZN guys, I've been looking in, in the back ends, and these guys are really putting some really serious people back there. They're really, if they go into the social media market and they can actually provide really good benefits, not tooting DAZN's horn, but if that's the direction you're going, that's where you need to go. That's where everyone needs to go. Showtime, HBO, everyone.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, and it's not just about profile building. To Lennox Lewis's point and quotes, it's more about the contract. It's more about these two heavyweight fighters.
60 seconds.
Sitting down and saying, let's come up with a deal for a 2-fight deal where we can become, two guys that are set for life. So it doesn't matter if I lose. But when you do a flat fee and a no rematch clause, things are fishy. Again, if there's 2-fight deal, it's in writing, neither man should care to lose. Only the fight fans win. Hopefully they get they get the point. Listen, that's my final thoughts on this. I don't know if you guys want anything.
Yeah, real quick. We got a announcement on the 14th and 15th. I believe a nice beverage company is sponsoring us, right?
That is right. We will be I will be definitely there on the 13th, but we have our weigh-in live from the T-Mobile Arena for Canelo Triple G. Will be part of the activity and entertainment for the weigh-in for Canelo Triple G on the 14th, and then we will be at Beer House, few feet from the T-Mobile Arena, as the pre-fight hype for Canelo Triple G on September 15th in Las Vegas. Both things are absolutely free. There'll be fighters stopping by so you could take pictures. We're going to have some giveaways, shirts, signed gloves, plenty of boxing paraphernalia, plenty of boxing talk. We'll have some Chivas Regals to pour you, if you are interested in some of this blended Scotch whiskey. There's going to be plenty of that going around. You want to get yourself some of that. I mean, listen, there's a little bit of everything. We're talking to the WBC, see if we can't get a, little bit of shirts or something to give away on that day as well. But yeah, from the 14th to the 15th, TBB doing 2 shows. So definitely come out and support us because, last time, we did only 1. They brought us back for 2 this time, so they're impressed, and we need to impress. So let's have TBV listeners out there, backing us for sure, and receiving some of this free swag that we're going to be giving out. I mean, you don't want absolute strangers, non-listeners of the show receiving all the swag that you deserve. So you better come on out. Listen, and it's one of the biggest pay-per-views of this year thus far.
And just for the listeners who will be in Vegas, because a lot of people go to Vegas for the big fights without actually having tickets to the fight. They go for the fight week activities, which obviously we'll be a part of. When Ness is telling you guys on fight day, TBV will be, it's actually pronounced Beer House, but when that is the biggest bar / restaurant for any event at the T-Mobile. We're talking concerts, hockey games, fights. That is the place to go. So for TBV to be there says a lot. So anybody who's going to be in Vegas fight week,
no, they won't be able to miss us because our like audio comes out through the speakers, and those speakers are all throughout the street of the T-Mobile. Like, it was amazing the first time, and then we did it one more time in Los Angeles, and now we're back. And Beer House themselves personally told us, they're happy to have us back. So we're definitely trying to come full steam ahead. We got the whole crew. Except for Rob, which sucks, we might have to do the thing is that he's got to travel with the kid. He's got the kid, which makes it totally different. But maybe next time he'll be out. It was too short notice for him to get off from work and all that. But everybody else will be there. Obviously, Daniel will be in the building. Aaron, I'm sure Cantu is coming in as well. We'll have plenty of TBV alumni, Eric Cruz, just so many. Don't miss it for sure. Let's head on out to the sponsors unless anybody got some
Hey,
fun.
real quick, I want to start a campaign that's called Get Robbed to America for the Fury and Wilder fight. So if all the people in the super chat can please donate or sign up to Patreon or even Cash App Nest, it will greatly help Get Robbed to the US.
I think Patreon is always the best option because it won't help just Rob. Like, having reached the goal necessary on Patreon could not just get Rob to, Vegas, but make Rob full-time, and we can receive like AJ coverage weekly, Billy Joe Saunders weekly, Kid Galahad weekly, etc. Instead of him being out there, fucking mowing the lawn, which he doesn't like to do, right? He could just jump in his car, and put in work for you guys. So it's definitely better appreciated to do Patreon because, like I said, the goal is for the team to be full time so that we can all be at Camp Life, right? Because, plenty of people give me credit on questions and things, but obviously some of my questions come from my team. We have a production chat and, we message each other. They know every move I'm making. While the world thinks I'm a fucking dictator, I actually, do all things with everyone in that group chat. I'm always asking questions and advice. So, yeah, man, become part of the family. Head on over to patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We're actually going to see Danny. So get your questions in for that. Hit the thumbs up button. It helps with the visibility of the show. And it lets us know that you appreciate the content and that this is the right content that you want to hear. So we're going to head out to our sponsors and get to some of these callers.
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
Dominic in Seattle, what up?
What's up, man? I've been hearing you guys all the morning. I have something to say, kind of like with the buildup of fighters and stuff like that. And I think that Deontay Wilder has been doing that, but if he steps it up, he'll be on that Logan Paul level because Logan Paul came from, almost getting banned from YouTube, and then he came out with this fight. So I think if he builds his profile up more, he can become the A side without, the fight even happening yet. So, and another.
So let me ask you a real quick question. How many buyers do you think Fury and Wilder does if it does go to pay-per-view?
I don't even know how that works. Right now in Washington,
How many people in America do you think will buy the pay-per-view if Wilder and Fury fight? Simple question. 700,000? 500,000?
that's hard because is it on the free app or is it pay-per-view? So I would say like 200,000 maybe. There's not a lot of people support boxers out here in America. And then in Washington, no, you guys don't know about this, but ever since the Floyd fight, nobody even shows fights at bars anymore out here in Washington, in Seattle. So for me to watch a fight, I have to either, because I don't have cable, I got to do the online app or something like that, or go to a friend's house. Nobody supports boxing out here in Washington. They only do UFC. But
Eddie Hearn might be changing that.
Huh?
Eddie Hearn might be changing that. He want to take boxing to like smaller, well, not smaller towns, but cities that normally don't get boxing.
Well, when we did get boxing like that, ever since Floyd fought Conor McGregor and all that racial divide, these bars don't show it, Cheers don't show it, Hooters, nobody shows fights no more, not even Buffalo Wild Wings. So my question to Ness is, I see you at your 6'5" and stuff like that, and you're a YouTuber. Why don't you and Deontay Wilder do a little one-on-one basketball? That is a little stepping up for profile for Deontay.
Yeah, how nice are you, Ness?
Yeah, but the thing is, like, Deontay ain't gonna raise his profile by playing with me. He needs to be playing with Paul
he
Logan.
raised his profile by knocking out. He raised his profile up by knocking out fucking the internet troll. You're a YouTuber who has. You can build your.
But there was. I get you, bro, and believe me, I would love to be that guy, no less. I'm just saying, there was a reason and a story behind that. The YouTube troll was a troll, and Deontay was defending his daughter, who also has a condition. So, you know, the world. Yeah, the world got behind that. The world has no reason for Deontay to get behind Deontay for playing basketball with Ness. Like, he needs to play basketball with Logan Paul.
With Ness, can you
Brown? What? Yeah, I could fucking play. I could dunk.
My bad. Hey, look here. Just because you can dunk, don't mean you can hoop.
No, listen. It's probably very few people. I mean, I'm getting older, but there's probably still very few people that could stop me in the paint, dog. I'm putting up boards and putting up points in that paint. Like, I'm 6'5".
Hey,
when I raise my hand, I'm about I could get almost to 9 feet just with the reach. You kidding me? I'm smacking shit all day and dunking.
Hey,
I had put it on Twitter when Twitter started doing live last year. Me and my son used to go to the park a lot to play ball because he got into basketball, and I put it on Twitter live, dunking on somebody. I don't play.
Y'all see that right there, right? I dunk on everybody. Well, I used to anyway.
Hey, we'll have to see about that. Last night at the bar, Ness made it seem like he was the nicest pool player, and what happened?
I beat you. Didn't I beat you?
Absolutely not. You beat the girl. You ain't beat me.
Oh, but I beat somebody. Yo, but listen, his win was me hitting the fucking 8-ball into the pocket on my own. Like, get out of here.
Hey, what you say? I didn't know second place was runner up.
Nah, you're right about that. You're right about that. Hey, listen, I'm the one winning. Like he said, I beat the girl. You know? Oh, shit, I'm putting the beat on. I forgot Alex is over here from Russia. What up?
Play on words.
Yeah, how's it going? Can you guys hear me?
Loud and clear, baby.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm trying to. I just tuned in. I'm trying to read the title, and you put all these emojis. I can't understand what the hell does it say. It says KSI versus Logan Paul contract, and what is that?
Lennox Lewis.
Emoji?
Lennox Lewis says Joshua Wilder should do the same. So basically, it's Logan Paul.
Same, what the same?
The contract. The contract.
Doesn't mean secured. The contract secured.
Is the contract secured? That's what you're asking?
You put some damn emoji in there. I can't understand what the hell that means.
Forget the emoji.
It's strong as emoji.
Yo, take it up with Rob. Take it up with Rob. That's a bank. That's a money bank.
Oh, okay. I see now. Okay, cool.
Damn courthouse.
Okay, and by the way, I have a question regarding yesterday's show. What was the number 150 million? What is that number? Is that how much they generated?
Yeah.
The revenue they generated? Or
well, no. I don't know if it's generated. It's all together though. That's their purse. They're splitting that.
150 million euros, not dollars, but euros. So that equals out to like 192.
This Lennox Lewis article just further, spoke of that. When it opens up, it says that, the two YouTubers would have made more than Joshua if he would have accepted the $50 million offer. So, I mean, yeah, these kids really put together some big money.
Wow, this is insane. And this is sad at the same time, to be honest, because...
Well, I don't think it is. I don't think it is because, look, we got a guy like Lennox Lewis.
At the same time, it's positive because, it brings light to the sport of boxing, but it's sad because 99.9999999 boxers will never make this kind of money. And they're busting the ass every single day. So that's...
Yeah, but 99 of them need to... now take note, and that's exactly what we're saying. That's what Lennox Lewis is saying. Like Joshua and Wilder need to take note.
What do you mean take note?
Well, they put together a 2-fight deal, Alex. So they just made.
But that's not because they're so. That's not the reason why they generated so much revenue.
It doesn't matter why they generated revenue. They were intelligent enough to know they were going to generate it and put together a 2-fight deal. These boys just made over $76 million, and they already have a contract for another fight to make more than $76 million, because now we know Logan Paul can fight. Now he just has to fucking build stamina. He might knock out KSI. Like, he's superior to KSI. He just had no tank. Like, it's going to be bigger. They had Johnny Nelson. Some of these fighters will never have Johnny Nelson or Michael, or what was it, Bruce? Michael
Buffer.
Michael Buffer announced the fight, brother. Michael Buffer announced the fight. Some of these fighters will never have Buffer announce the fight.
What I'm saying. However, that has nothing to do with the fact that they agreed to fight for the second time. It's just because they're who they are. That they
No.
But just like boxers bust their ass, these kids bust their ass too.
They agreed.
No one knew that they're going to be the second.
No. They agreed to fight a second time because they understood the magnitude of the event and the amount of money that was involved. See, Joshua and Wilder, and I'm gonna keep saying Wilder, even though we all fucking know he understands. That's why he wanted to take 15 flat. You know what I'm saying? But like, there's money out there. If you sit down and you make a 2-fight deal, no man has to care that they lost. Unless you're the guy that ends up losing twice back to back.
Oh man, Dan and MTK Global having a little spat, but we'll get to that later on.
Of course they are, because Dan is saying that fucking, Fury's management. Meanwhile, MTK Global is Fury's management. So, you can't just be dropping out. Listen, Dan is gonna either have to like, just let it ride and don't respond.
Take that L.
No, because he can do what most reporters will never do, and he could just say his source. Like, man, fuck out of here. Fury's management team XYZ. You know what I'm saying? And then that dude is going to be in the hot seat, but he probably won't, because that's like journalism 101. Never give up your source. So I don't know.
By the way, Ness.
Yo, this guy in the chat said Ness playing dumb like they didn't pay Johnny and Michael. Motherfucker, the fact that they could pay Johnny and Michael, don't you get the budget? Do you see fucking PBC paying Johnny and Michael? This guy's man. I hate dealing with weirdos, bro.
You see people in the building that you be like, damn, they paid Johnny and Michael. What? Man, they had Michael Buffer announcing them come out to the ring, and I don't care what nobody say. Logan Paul had the best boxing outfit of the year so far.
Yeah, that shit was banging.
Hey, just to throw facts, because this can be looked up. Michael Buffer is a $1 billion man. When Michael Buffer announces a fight, he's making anywhere from $2 to $5 million for that. So when you got that kind of money, that's to show.
Now look, he just Googled that, right? So
No. These facts, I know this shit.
Okay, but still, the point is this, though. The point is this: if Buffer's getting paid $5 million to announce, how the fuck could you question that these kids didn't make 75 mil each? You sitting there saying that we're reporting fake news, but Buffer costs $5.
How is Buffer getting more than like some of these fighters though?
He's a $1 billion man.
He's iconic to the sport, dog. He's iconic to the sport. Dude, I mean, Buffer probably called some of Ali fights, right? Like he's passing. I don't know about Ali. I don't know. Maybe I'm reaching there. Ron, can you help us here? Buffer, that's probably
it wasn't Ali.
Levin's father is probably Ali's, right? I don't know. I shouldn't have reached the bag.
Just say Tyson.
Let me go to some callers.
Say Tyson.
We're gonna go to who's up first? Damn, this new Skype. I hate it. All right,
he started in 1982, I think. I think Sugar Ray Leonard was. No. Let me think. I'm gonna look.
Yeah. No, don't think. Research it. Let's go to Mo. Talk to me. Mo on Skype.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up,
going on, Mo?
I just go back to what the last caller was saying. I feel Logan Paul and KSI I do feel like they are taking the sport for. They're cashing out. I feel like they should give some of the money to charity or something like that for a good cause.
Bruh, don't know boxers give they half their paycheck to damn charity? What are you talking about?
Lives in the line. They don't wear head guards.
It don't matter, bruh. They are out here making the money, and they made people come to the fight, bruh. It's not like they did something wrong. Boxing is a sport that people can do and get paid for, and that's what they did.
This was a white collar event. This was a white collar event. They should have had at all white collar events we have in the UK. It's mostly charity based, and they should have had a duty to put some money to charity. Anyway, on to the today's topic.
How do you know they didn't put money to charity?
Huh?
How do you know that they didn't
I don't know.
money? Okay, then. So sometimes people don't like announcing all the good stuff that they do.
I said in the UK, most white collar events between two amateurs is for charity. That's it. Anyway, back to today's topic. I feel Lennox Lewis is talking too much. If you just look at
yo, you got your TV on in the back, Mo? Is that you?
Nah, it's not me.
Yeah, somebody turned it off. But go ahead.
Yeah. So I feel like Lennox is talking too much. If you look at Canelo and Golovkin, the first fight, Triple G had 35% with no rematch clause. If Wilder backs himself, he'll win the fight and he'll get another fight.
Man, you sound like an AJ nut hugger right now, bro.
Look. No, keep it real. Triple G, he said I just saw the report. He said basically he won't need a rematch clause because he'll take it into his own hands. So I just don't buy it. I feel Wilder doesn't back himself. I don't know. Anyway,
he don't back himself, but he was willing to come to England on September. But the venue wasn't available. Then it became available for Povetkin. Okay.
Otherwise, they would have took the fight. Look at the Frank Warren, the Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder fight hasn't been announced. There's no date and no venue. So that's
you sound like Troy.
Let's get. Oh, go ahead.
I got some Michael Buffer news. So he didn't start his career until 1982, and Muhammad Ali ended his last fight with Trevor Burbank in 1981. However, he did all of top ranked stuff like in that time frame. Then eventually did a lot of Donald Trump stuff. I'm assuming the Mike Tyson stuff like that. So yeah, he's been doing it since 1982 from boxing and wrestling and other sports. Remember, he also probably does like random special baseball games or random football events or something for fun and movie appearances. So yeah, he's been doing it for a long time.
So a lot of people in the chat talking about his pay. So in fact, Joshua Klitschko, he earned the $5 million payday that I spoke of. So this isn't a every fight ordeal, but he is making big money for these big fights. So if he does announce KSI versus Logan Paul, guaranteed he made 7 figures. So if you guys want to Google it, he did make $5 million for Anthony Joshua and for Klitschko, and he also made that amount for the joint announcing for Mayweather Pacquiao.
What do you think he's getting paid for the DAZN deal?
And that just sounds like Mayweather Pacquiao raised his price. You know what I'm saying? Because that was before. But again, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And even if they told him, look, we can't give you $5 million, what could we, could we give you something else? Maybe he negotiated. The haters in the chat are just mad that this fight put together that much money. But listen, let me get to this other caller. You had a question, Ron?
Oh, I was just saying, like, could you imagine how much money DAZN had to offer to get this guy exclusive, apparently?
Get which guy?
Michael Buffer.
Buffer.
I was just curious how much you think they paid him.
Yeah. Good. I mean, I don't know how would that interview do, but I guess we could ask Eddie whenever we get time. Let's go out to Solomon on Skype.
Yo.
What up?
Yo. Yeah, man. Shout out doing the UK hour. Like, I wanted to call in yesterday, but it was mad late, man. I couldn't stay out that late, bro. I was awake, but I couldn't really chat now. But anyway, when I first called in, I said to you guys, yeah, that you need to put some respect on Eddie. I don't know if you remember. You guys was laughing at me because I said he signed up these golden gloves and that. But I think now you boys are seeing, like, especially next to these interviews and that, you can see what he's doing. It's not hating. It's not like
Yo,
riding
why
AJ
why
and
am I seeing it just because I'm interviewing fighters? Isn't that what I've been doing the last 10 years?
I know, but what's a hating on you? Because you're getting, like, you're understanding, you're seeing the picture, you boys are understanding now. Like, Eddie's the guy, bro. Like, it's not, but people ain't signing with him because they don't like him. Don't make sense.
Look, we know Eddie's the guy. This man was just in New York and Boston with us, walking around with the Louis Vuitton bag filled with $100 bills. So we know he's a man.
The first caller of today's show, he said we ain't boxing in Washington for time, and Eddie's gonna do that. This is good shit for you guys. Like, it's just your boxers again. So it's that, and then yeah, man, 50-50 with AJ Wilder. I think they should do this. It is what it is. That's it, man.
All right. And that's just like what's going overlooked in this whole show is that, Lennox said they should take a page or notes from the contract. The contract is not only a rematch, but it's a 50-50 split. Why? Because there's enough money. There's no need to fucking dick measure. Let's go to Wakeem.
Yo, what up, y'all?
What up?
Yeah, what up, Mike? Man, I heard you on the Breakfast Club, man. That's a pretty dope story you had there, man. That's awesome to hear, dog.
Appreciate it.
I really, because like the last few days, man, I've been hearing. I haven't had a chance to call in, but I've just been hearing like nonstop hate, like that y'all are getting for covering the fight and everything. But I mean, that's just stupid because for one, it was the biggest YouTube event in history, right? And it just so happened to be a boxing match. You're called the Boxing Voice. Why the hell wouldn't you cover the biggest YouTube event? You know what I mean? Like, your largest platform is YouTube. So like, I just think that's idiotic that people would even, talk shit to y'all for covering that. And me personally, like, I got kids, man, who love those guys. So of course I bought it. I watched it. My mentality, I'm a real fucking boxing fan. So it's not like I came in there with the expectation of seeing some incredible boxing skill or technique. Like, I took it for what it's worth, you know what I mean? Like an amateur match. And it was pretty cool, man. It was entertaining. And shout out to those kids for making that much money. Like, that's fucking, those kids set themselves for life. And they don't even have kids yet, and their kids are set for life. So like, how could you hate on that? You know what I'm saying? I said that's pretty cool, man. Shout out to them. And if they do a rematch, I'm gonna buy it again and watch it. Like, fuck it. You can say what you want. That shit was dope. But yeah, man, that was really all I wanted to say. Yo, people hate so much, and it's like, you could tell those people probably never own a business or never will, because like, it was a business. Unless you didn't do this to lose money, right? You know what I'm saying? So of course you and yeah, man. But shout out to TBV, man. Y'all keep doing your thing.
Okay, thanks for calling in and thanks for the good, kind words. Listen, man, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this one up.
Say what?
Yes, sir. It is time to go. It's been another episode of TBV. Hashtag TBV podcast, wherever hashtags are used. Don't forget, we're about to jump on the road. Hashtag TBV road work, baby. So if you want your questions asked to the champ, Danny Garcia, and his trainer, Crazy Angel, head on over to patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. Click on the post with the picture of Danny and Angel. Drop your question for Angel. Click on the other picture with Danny. Drop your question there for Danny. And you know what? I'm going to try and make a quick post so that you guys can get questions for the sparring partners. I forgot I was going to do that, but we need to get one out there for them, bro. See what you guys want to ask them.
Yeah, and my final thoughts is that rematches always sell. I mean, when you look at the heavyweight division, Riddick Bowe and Vander Holyfield 2 did better. Mike Tyson and Donovan Broderick, 2 did better. Frank Bruno and Mike Tyson 2 did better. And like, the holy grail until Mayweather came along was Evander Holyfield versus Mike Tyson 2. Now we got Canelo Triple G 2, which many people is going to do better. Floyd Maidana 2 did better. Pacquiao and Marquez 2 did better. And many people wanted the $1 billion supposedly fight, Floyd and Conor, the rematch in the Octagon. And even if you look in the UFC, their biggest top pay-per-views were rematches, Diaz and McGregor 2, and their biggest heavyweight, which came in second, was Lesnar and Mir 2. So the blueprint is rematches. Why wouldn't you secure the biggest pot by getting that rematch? There's so much money on the table. So they should have a rematch clause in there just for the simple facts But just in case anything happens, man, it doesn't hurt. But you can find me at Fight IQ Media, Twitter and Instagram.
I'm really proud of what these kids accomplished and achieved going out and being pioneers. All these people out here hating need to really stop and go out there and try to do the same thing. Like, create your platform, get you a following, and anything you want to do, man, you pretty much do it. I mean, we see it on IG all the time. So big shout out to these kids, man. I can't wait for the rematch. I know it's going to be even bigger in Vegas. So
stop calling them kids. They 25, 23. They drive Lambos and Rolls Royces. They chains and watches cost more than a lot of our things. We need to let that shit go and realize that these guys showed boxers how it's done.
Yeah, I mean, I can respect that. I won't call them kids anymore. You know what I'm saying? I don't want anybody to get mad and leave. So I'm just happy.
Get mad and leave. Oh shit, he taking shots.
I was talking about the no, never mind, man. Follow me at Gross2312 on Twitter or Gross1911 on IG.
Once again, great to be with you guys here talking boxing. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at RingWalkDanny. And we're about to hit the road here for Danny Garcia and his camp. So make sure to get the Patreon questions because gas, toes, this ain't free. So Patreon helps us provide you with more content, the fans, and ask those questions that you guys want to know the answer to. So thank you.
All right, peace.